the Greensboro Public Library, downtown. It's January 9th, 2020.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
Where you trying to get to, man?
What's that?
Where you trying to get to? The desk?
Yeah, where's the information desk or service
yeah.
desk? Where's that?
It's right over this way. You want to grab onto my shoulder?
I'll follow you.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Do you work here?
Yes, sir. I'm security.
Oh, hey. Do you know if Kurt, I think it's Bennett,
Kurt Bennett?
is working?
Don't know. We can ask her.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Alright, so with your phone, you can check out up to 50 items at a time. That does include 5 DVDs from the adult section and 5 from children's as well. You have access to all of the packages as well. This does outline how long you can check out items. It's a book, usually it's 3 weeks, DVD, CD for 7 days. And you can read those too by calling us with your card number or looking up your account online. If items are overdue, here's the times listed that include per day. You have access to our online resources, so ebooks, audiobooks through the digital library, and also links and just lots of free resources to you that are cited on our page. And if you need to log on to any of the computers, you just type in your library card number. That lets you in. We have 15-minute computer stations, some just to the side there by that pillar, and then there's sit-down 2-hour workstations. There's computers on the first and second floor. First floor is function, second floor is non-function.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Welcome to the library, sir. Hi, sir. How can I help you?
Hey, do you know if Kurt is working today? Or is this the right location?
I'm saying, what's the last name?
I think it's Bennett.
And do you know what department he works in?
I know he does like, he's over the public records for the city of Greensboro.
Okay. It would probably be in the reference area. Let me see if I can find his extension if he's here. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back.
Cool.
call his extension. He does work upstairs.
Cool.
And administration. And is he expecting you? Or?
Possibly. Maybe. I don't think necessarily in person. I think he's expecting to hear from me.
Okay,
But,
what's your name?
just I've been talking with Donna Gray through accessibility and
Okay. All right.
yeah. It's regarding records and the PERT
Yeah.
stuff online.
Okay. Is there a name that I can give him that he'll recognize?
I don't think so. I haven't talked to him yet, so yeah.
Hi, Kurt. This is Jennifer down at the registration desk. Great. How are you doing? Good. I do have a gentleman who is here to meet with you. I think he'd been speaking via what was the name?
Donna Gray she's the ADA coordinator.
Donna Gray. Yeah. So he's here to see you. Awesome. Thank you. No problem. All right. So he'll be right down.
Cool. And can you tell me like what kind of accessibility options you have in the library?
I do know that we have a gentleman named Antoine who mainly works in that area.
Mhm.
That would be in the reference department. They can kind of outline more for you.
Okay.
But I know we definitely do have some resources.
Okay. What about getting a library card? How's that work?
That's pretty easy. So for that, you just need to have valid photo ID. And if it does not list your current address, like a piece of mail or something showing your address that you live in the area,
Mhm.
this county or reciprocal county. So that's really it.
Okay, what counts as a valid photo ID?
I mean, if it's got we prefer a license because we do have to fill out that information. But even if you have like some sort of badge or something with your face and name on it.
Would like a bank card work? Or like a debit card that has my picture on it?
Well, the thing is we have to fill out all the information as far as like your ID, your license number. So there's still, like if we were looking up your account that you already had set up and you just had like your bank ID or something,
Yeah.
that would work because we could see that you're that person. But as far as setting you up, we would need additional information, which would be on your ID.
Well, because I don't have a license. I can't drive.
Do you have like an NCID card?
No.
No. What do you just have a bank card or?
That's what I'm asking. Like, what would work? You know.
Well, let me see what you do have, because I can check and see what we need to do from there. I'll have to check with my supervisor.
Okay.
But just if you have something that shows your photo and your name, I'll look at that and see what we can do.
Okay. All right. And then the address is for what purpose?
For the address, I think it's like if we have to send anything to you, like.
So any piece of mail would work?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Showing that you live in the area. Hi there. Doing well. How you doing?
Doing very well.
Is it Kurt?
Hi, Kurt Brenneman.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Would you like to come upstairs to my office?
Yeah, sure, that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
And your name is?
You can call me Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you. Are you okay coming up the stairs?
Yeah, I'm good upstairs. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll come back to my office.
Okay. I heard you come down, so there we go.
I'm doing all right today.
Yeah, today's not too bad.
And you've spoken with Donna Gray?
Yeah, I talked to her. Did she message you at all?
Well, I actually was out sick yesterday. So
Oh, okay.
I tried to call her this morning, but she was at a meeting.
Yeah.
But I'll talk to you.
Yeah. Which way are we going?
Yeah, we're going to go to the right.
Okay.
Sorry. And then we'll go back to my office, which is back in the information services.
Oh, cool. It's a big library.
It is, yeah.
Now, is this library part of like a series of libraries? Is it just city or county, or how's that work?
With the city of Greensboro. And so this is the central library.
Okay.
And then we have, I think, 8 branch libraries
Oh,
around
wow.
the city. So yeah, we have a large central library. I know I moved here actually from Raleigh,
Yeah.
which doesn't have a central library, just
Right.
branch libraries.
Right.
So we're going to go down this corridor.
Okay, I'll follow it. If it.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah. we'll come to sort of a T and take a right.
Okay.
Thank you. I know I'm back here in the Warren, so. Okay, we'll take a right and then we'll take a door to our left. And I'll go ahead. Okay. Back here. The door is open. Okay.
All right.
There you go. And then
Cool.
sort of straight back
All right.
and to the left right here. Would you like a seat?
Yeah, sure. If you got one.
Sure. Chair over.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Perfect.
and here's a chair right here.
All right. Got it.
Okay. So, let me close the door real quick.
Okay. Oh, you can keep it open. I don't mind. Yeah.
Well,
It's up to you.
yeah, I'll close it because I like to with public records requests.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, okay, but I haven't spoken with Donna, so I know nothing. So.
Oh, okay. So let's see. I went to the Greensboro Police Department last
Okay.
week
Okay.
on the 2nd, I believe.
Okay.
And I was trying to put in a records request, or 2 records requests actually. One for, they have a drug box that they collect, like prescription medication.
Okay.
So I wanted to inspect the log. So you're probably familiar with the NCG, GS 132,
Right, yeah.
that you can either inspect or ask for a copy.
Okay.
So I was wanting to inspect both of those requests for inspection of the record for basically the chain of custody for the medicine that comes into the box,
Okay.
and then when they take it out and have it send it to for destruction and all that for 2019.
Okay, for 2019.
Yep. And then the second one was to inspect the duty log, like for the day,
Okay.
like who's assigned to to work that day, what the shift is, and like their vehicle assignments.
Okay.
And the records department didn't know. So part of this is a complaint because they didn't know how to handle the records request.
Okay.
So the records department said, well, we don't know who does that record. Let me go over to operations. So they went over to operations. Operations didn't really know.
Okay.
They called for somebody to come out. I think it was a Brown, maybe lieutenant.
Okay.
I spoke to, and he said that it's the vice department that tracks the drug box or that handles the drug box.
Okay.
But then all this interaction, nobody seemed to actually take a note to actually process the request.
Okay.
So which is the ADA issue. That's why I went to Donna. I was like, hey, they weren't actually accommodating to take my request. Instead, Mr. Brown directed me to the Greensboro website.
Right. Okay.
To do the records request through the PERT system. And so I tried that, and I did a video on that, like on both of these actually, like so if you're curious on that interaction.
I actually think we got that request, and so
Okay.
part of this is I owe you an apology. I have actually been out sick on Monday and Wednesday, so I'm very behind in the public records request. So
Okay.
That actually rings a bell. I think.
Well, let me stop you because I tried to do the website.
Okay.
And the website wasn't accessible. Like, it was very tedious. It took me a while to find the, and so I brought that to Donna's attention to have them address that. There's a video on me struggling to find
that's a good
the input.
thing for us to know.
Yeah. And so there's that. If you're curious about how my screen reader works and how tedious it was to even get to the PERT system to put in the information. Finally, I found the request section that has first name, last name, email.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
I didn't want to
Right.
put in first name or last name. I wanted to do it anonymous.
Right,
And
which you can do. Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
so then I put in an email address and hit submit, and then it just said loading. That's the only cue I got from my phone. I did mess up my email once, and I got a message that the field wasn't valid. So I went back, corrected the email, tried it again, didn't get any error that time. It was just saying loading, and it wouldn't let me submit the request.
Okay.
So
Very
when I
good.
posted that video to my YouTube site, a YouTube viewer, actually from Puerto Rico, who helps blind people, he went to the website and put in the request on my behalf. So the
Okay.
request that you do have is from somebody that did it on my
Okay.
behalf, and it actually,
It was so nice if
yeah,
you did that.
yeah. But actually, I don't think he worded it the way I would, because I think he was asking for a copy to be emailed. I was asking to actually inspect the record.
Expected.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I did get, okay, so I got, like I said, again, I apologize if the response has been slow, 'cause that's been was out, let's see, yes, Monday and Wednesday, so I'm so sorry about that.
Well, at least you got it, because that's, yeah.
Yeah, he actually used a pseudonym too. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. I think he said, he put for the first name like Insight, and the last name was like is free, which is basically the email address just broken up.
Exactly. So, okay, so log for the drug box that is located at the Greensboro headquarters, okay, and so you want to inspect these.
Correct.
Rather than, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what?
And then I went yesterday back to the GPD, hoping that they were addressing these issues, and it was the same thing. Basically, the records department said they didn't know how to process that request, and I was trying to encourage them to take my requests orally,
Right.
So that they were in compliance. And eventually, somebody did. Somebody I think wrote it down for the drug box, and then I went to the operations side to do the duty log, and eventually talked to a watch commander. I forgot his name, but he basically said, I don't know what else to do because you talked to somebody above his pay grade, and which is Brown, and so I'm probably going to go back here in a little bit after we talk and find out like what can we do. Maybe you can call over and say, hey, what can we do to make sure, because if the record's readily available, my understanding of the records law is that they should be able to provide it for inspection.
Right, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly, and that's actually, no, you have a total right to inspect it, you have a right to do it anonymously.
Yeah.
Again, we should, provide you, I think, work with you regarding ADA issues regarding the right to inspect.
So, and it's just education and retraining that that identified with the public records people, and then some of the staff in the police department. And
right. No,
so.
you're totally right. So what? Okay, may I ask you on a sort of a sidebar?
Sure.
What happened with the PERT portal? You said it loaded. 'Cause I'm curious about that because I've actually gotten a couple.
I'll give you a card.
Other
You can.
recently.
So the guy that's for my YouTube channel. So you can actually watch the YouTube video of me trying to access it.
Okay. Is that okay? Or I'd like to. I'm really curious because you're not the first. Actually, I got another email this morning from somebody who was having trouble with.
Well, the guy from Puerto Rico told me he tried to do it just like I did, and his wouldn't work until he put information in the first and last name.
Okay.
So he wrote me a real descriptive letter or email saying that it wasn't just. It wasn't just my attempt; it was his attempt too. So essentially, the way that the PERT set up is it's requiring a first and last name.
Okay. So right. Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
So what? That's interesting. So it's requiring a first and last.
Yeah, it's requiring all fields to have something in it, but it's not giving an error code if you leave it blank. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to tell you what's the problem.
Right. So once he figured that out, he just put in Insight and then is free, and then it submitted it for him.
Okay, so that's good to know. So I've had a couple other. We recently moved the PERT system from one server to another, and since then, I've had like 3 or 4 similar people with similar problems. That's actually a case of requiring all fields to enter. Okay.
And maybe even if you have like something on that page that says if you wish to do it anonymous, these fields aren't required once you get that coded right.
Right.
So then the people know they don't have to put it in.
Right. So people know which are optional, which are required.
Right.
Okay, that's actually great feedback. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, have you talked at all or heard at all, and it doesn't sound like you have, from Polly Sizemore over in police? She's a police attorney.
Nope.
She's usually who I work with, so I'm going to call her now.
Okay, yeah, I was going to go over there either next or I've had some stuff at the courthouse I'm trying to work out too with ADA, accessibility. And so yeah, I'll be there this morning. I just wanted to come try to talk to you if you were available, and I'm glad you are. So.
No, I'm very glad you did come.
and I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I was like, that's why I know everything's been really slow this week. So, okay, doesn't give you any feedback. That's actually great for me to know. So the question then is, and you probably know this, is that, and this is where I'm ignorant, is with police records, many police records are exempt from the public records law if they're from a criminal investigation. Right. Now, I would think a duty log certainly would not be. I think that would be an open record. I think the only thing, I don't think it would have, the other thing that's exempt is any personal contact information of Greensboro police officers.
Sure.
I don't think that would be on a
That shouldn't be on a duty log, right.
So I would assume that is available.
Yeah.
The drug box, I don't know anything about drug, and I apologize. I'm the public records request administrator. There's a lot of records in the city I don't know anything about.
Well, so, I'll help you out with that. There's a federal code, I think it's Title 21 of the U.S. Federal Code that says that anybody that is collecting medicine for destruction or a distributor, they have to have records of that process.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So chain of custody, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I would assume that's a public record.
Yeah. The only thing that like it doesn't really specify. Well, it actually does. It breaks it down in detail, like what things they need to record, and then in the state level, because I think back in 2013 there was a resolution, I think at the state level, the General Assembly, because they recognized the opioid epidemic, and they said, hey, we need to do something about this in North Carolina. I mean, just recently there was a judge this past year that OD'd, right?
Right. That's right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's an epidemic, and this seems like an easy source of medication to be mishandled, or abused, and so I'm advocating for more accountability on that, and for them to, tabulate exactly what's coming in line by line. The protecting, the names on the bottles, of course, that's going to be redacted. You can't distribute that, but what the medication is and the quantity,
Okay.
and then have that done. And I doubt that they're doing it that way, because Asheboro PD does it by weight, and I'm addressing that with them. Hopefully, they're going to change that policy. So it just also I'm going to talk with the GPD brass or somebody in the city hall about maybe not having Vice run this Dropbox. It seems like a conflict of interest. That
is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. Now, what I'm going to do, if it's okay, is I'm going to call, and I'll put her on speakerphone. I'm going to call Polly. I hope I can reach her.
Okay, cool.
I talked with her earlier this morning. She's the person I work with over in police for public records requests. She's my contact over there.
Yeah, those records should be fine. Like, if anything, if they're having detailed records and they have names on the prescription pills, then that would be the only thing that needs to be redacted.
Right, that would be under HIPAA or the,
Yep.
So let me talk to Polly, because you're going to head over there.
Yep.
Okay, so what I'd love to do is maybe if Polly's free this morning, we could go ahead and have them ready by the time you come and get over there, is what I would love to do.
So one of the issues that they brought up to me was that they're trying to go paperless, and so they're like, well, we can't provide you anything for inspection because it's paperless. Well, that's not true, because they can sanitize a room and have a screen that has whatever thing they need to pull up on the screen, and I can get it that way.
Right, or print it if they can available. If
Sure.
they're able to print it out, they can print it out.
Right.
Exactly right. No, really, it's exactly. They should be able to make it inspection, whatever format works
Correct.
best for you.
Yeah.
So let me call, and I'll put Paul on speaker, and
Okay.
I'll just introduce you as Mike, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And
Sure.
And just look real quick.
Hopefully she's aware. I've been trying to do this.
She might or may not be.
Yeah.
Police get a lot of. That's why she didn't mention it this morning. Which
Yeah.
is why she may not actually be aware. As you probably understand, police get a lot of public records requests.
Oh yeah.
And, They could probably, I guess, them and 911 probably get the most in the city.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So let me. Okay, speaker. How do I do this? Okay, put the volume up. Thanks for your patience throughout all this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Like I said, this week has been a little disorganized, so. Okay. Speaker. There we go. Okay. Oh, it's gonna do some shit. Okay, look again. I just got a call from her this morning. 4517. Okay. Well, I'd love it if we can maybe go ahead so you can. Okay, so let's try this again.
Hey, Kurt.
Hey, Polly, how are you doing this morning?
Good.
Polly, I have with me Mike, who has made a public records request, and
Mike?
yes, and it's actually in our system. Again, because I've been out, I've not jumped on it. So it's number, if you want to look at it, it's wrong. Okay, it is request 11262. And it is a request to inspect, and I'll just read it out, because I'll read it. It's a request for inspection of the log for the drug box that is located at the Greensboro headquarters for the police department in downtown Greensboro for December 25th, 2019 through January 4th, 2020.
I'm actually trying to do the whole year. If I
Okay,
can.
okay, Mike, you go ahead and talk.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to get the whole year, the whole log for 2019, chain of custody logs for the medication that came through the drug box, all the way to the destruction point.
So that would be for the entire year of
Yes.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one is the duty rosters for the dates December 25th, 2019 through January 4th, 2020, and who was assigned to which vehicles during these dates. And Mike went to GPD, but they basically referred him to me. So now I'm calling you for assistance.
Well, that part's in there, and I've been working on it. So
Oh, okay.
What is the question?
Well, basically, what would be the best way for us to set up an inspection?
This is a PERT request, and so I don't understand why that would include having the opportunity to inspect.
Okay, because the public records law gives the right to inspect as well as to.
Okay. Well, I am looking into that. Actually, as I told you this morning, I'm working on PERTs, and that's one of about 6 or 7 I'm addressing.
No, thank you, Polly. Thank
I will
you.
follow up and get back with you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so if you want to get his telephone number, how you can reach out to him.
Right, I do have an email address, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Polly. Okay. So I don't know you're gonna be able to inspect them this morning. But it is in progress.
Right. So is there, do you guys have a policy for the city that says,
What we usually do with inspections is we don't get inspections that often, we have had them before.
Mhm.
Is basically when they're ready, I get in touch with you, so I have your email address, and if and basically set up an appointment,
Right.
and a space. Usually it's in a conference room, either at the Melvin Municipal Building downtown,
Okay.
or maybe at the police department. It depends on when Polly's going to want to do that. I was hoping maybe right away, but it
Sure.
doesn't sound like that. So
Yeah, well,
I know
the-
Polly's very busy.
The drug
but-
log may be one thing because they say that's with the vice department. I understand that. I understand they have to contact them, make sure that's ready, maybe set up an appointment. But the
Right.
duty log, that seems like it's something that everybody's looking at. Who's coming and going? Who's assigned to what? That seems like it's something that's readily available that should be easily produced for inspection.
No, you're right, and I don't know, but it's probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be something. I mean, you will get to inspect it, but I just know police. They're gonna want to look at anything before it goes out, basically, and so I mean, many departments in the city are like that. It won't affect what goes out, but they want to see it before it goes out. So that's what I'll probably do is I'll have to reach out to you. So you may or may not want to go back to police. I mean, go back down there or not. But it doesn't sound like it's going to happen this morning. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But I didn't think.
Well, if anything, I can go
But-
set up an appointment to talk to somebody about
That's exactly
policies
it.
and procedures and
And
whatnot.
I'm working with Donna. Donna has contacted me, and so if there's anything you would need for ADA compliance to inspect them, I can work with Donna to get
Okay.
that done. But basically, the next step would be I will reach out to you, say, probably give you, what days, ask you what days work best for
Sure.
you, what time work
Mhm.
best for you. We'll set up an appointment. I will be there. I am always there. Sometimes Polly may very well be there as well.
Okay.
Basically we'll say, just come at whatever time, this
Yeah.
place, and then we'll have the records ready for you.
Okay.
And when you're there, then you also have of course, have a right to request to have copies made. If you look at those, if you want to have copies.
Right.
And take them. We'll go ahead and make those copies for you right there.
Cool.
So unfortunately, it probably won't happen today.
Okay.
But our goal is always to get things done within 5 business days. And again, I'm so sorry that your request got off to a rough start. That's my fault because of it's out.
That's all right.
So, a lot
Yeah.
so you're not alone out there. A lot of other requests got off to a rough
Yeah,
start.
I think Donna's addressing the ADA issue with
Okay.
them not accepting my request verbally,
Okay.
and so I had to go back a second time.
Right. And they should have, actually. The public records law says you can make a request in any format. We have to take it.
Right.
You can make it any way if you don't want to do the purpose.
Right.
You don't
So
have to.
yeah. So maybe you can reinforce what Donna's probably going to send over to them to make sure that they're in compliance with accepting
Right.
records. I think the confusion was they're used to handling like police records. Like if you wanted to get a copy of your speeding ticket or whatever, and so this was a request that wasn't maybe outside of the norm. And so they're like, we don't know how to do that. And like, well, it's. And I was trying to explain, like, I check on things in different cities and different stuff around the country, and a lot of times the public records department may not be the actual custodian of the record, but they can take the request and then email that to the proper department to fulfill the request.
Well,
And-
that's exactly how we work. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. I mean, that's why I'm here in the library, And it's like say, you know, sometimes I need an explanation of what exactly this record is, but that's how our system works.
Yeah.
I get the incoming requests. I mean, I'm sure I don't get everything the city gets. They probably get people, like you said, people who walk into police looking for copies of citations and things like that.
Right.
But most of them come through me, come through our website or phone or email.
Yeah.
But it is hard, you're right. If somebody just wants to make a request orally, I'm not particularly accessible that way. I mean,
Right.
people can call me, you have to call me.
Sure.
But you know, you wanted to walk. Actually, for all that, if you knew where I was,
Yeah.
and people have actually come to it. I mean, like you, I've had other people who come up to the information services desk
Try to find you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, trying to find me. So.
Oh, I'm glad I picked the right branch. You have 8 of them.
That's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point.
Yeah, I figured I'd start in downtown, and if you weren't here, then.
Oh my God! I would hate for you to drive around to eight different branches. Oh my gosh! Because they're all over the city as well. So it'd be
yeah, it was an educated guess that this was probably the hub, the central one. You know,
you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
All right.
So Mike, I hope that's some help. I will be in touch.
Yeah.
Is this okay if I keep your card?
Absolutely.
And I have your request in the system, but this gives me your telephone number.
Yep.
And that'll be the next step. Is basically we'll set up an appointment.
Okay.
To inspect this.
Cool. Yeah, and if you're curious about my encounters with the website,
yeah, I am going to look.
It's I think the title is something like the Greensboro website isn't accessible or something like that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a little tedious. My screen reader reads fast. I slowed it down for people watching the video, but I usually crank it up faster. So if it's too fast for you, I think you can slow the video down.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, I'll open the door for you.
Okay.
And then we'll take a right, and then I'll have to open another door for you too. Yeah, it's a Warren. Let's say it's a Warren back here. So
Now, do you?
Coming all the way back.
Yeah. Do you know like what kind of accessibility options are offered in the library here? Like, do you?
That's a great question.
Or is it a different?
I do not.
It's like a reference librarian that would know.
Okay, and you're going to come out on a row here. You can make it right. But I can actually take you exactly to who could help you. They're up here on the second floor.
Oh, perfect.
So you take a left in about 6 feet. You're right there. And what I'll do is I'm going to take you to the information services desk, and that's where our reference librarians are.
Oh, great.
They can help you with that. You know. But Mike, so I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Polly, what'll happen is Polly will she'll work on it. She'll get in touch with me. I'm glad I made clear that what you want is inspection.
Right.
Because so she'll know that, and then I'll get in touch.
Yeah,
with
she
you
seemed
next.
to not know how to handle the inspection part.
Well,
but-
we actually oddly rarely get them. So what we're going to do is, and you'll take left in about 5 feet, and I'll take right to the information services desk. We actually, it's sort of rare we get those. But they are in the public records law, and people are entitled to do that.
Sure,
so.
I think a lot of people just don't realize they can do it.
Right, exactly.
And would just rather have something, the copy being done on the municipality's end rather than them making their own copy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would say we get about 2,400 records requests a year, and about 98% of them are purely digital.
Yeah.
Just somebody sending something in, and we email stuff out.
Well, yeah, it's cool that you guys have that, and maybe something to look into is what format you guys send things to. Because whenever I get a digital request back, I would say probably 90% of the time I get it, the initial time it's not in an accessible format. So they'll send a PDF file, but it'll be in an image PDF file.
Oh, because OCR will read, right? You can do that with Adobe Pro, Adobe.
It will read it if it's in text format.
Okay, if it's in text format.
Right. So you can just take that same PDF and then save it as a text PDF rather than an image PDF.
Okay. Most of the ones we send out are, but not all. And I've gotten some copies from folks that were just right off a scanner or copier. We're not OCR'd,
right?
And so they're images. But that's actually very interesting. That's good for me to know.
Yeah.
That's an advantage because I did notice that Adobe had that feature.
Yep.
Mike, just wait till here for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Grab Chris. He might. I'm not wait. Chris is on the phone.
Okay.
But that's actually really good. I haven't thought of that in the past.
Yeah.
At all before.
Most people don't until a lot of the things I point out, they don't realize it until somebody points it out. Like there's bushes and trees in front of the police station that are overhanging the sidewalk that I got caught up on. So, that's an ADA thing that I brought to Donna's attention. She's working on that, but people don't. You just instinctively walk around it.
Right, exactly right, without thinking about it. That's a really good point. Unless it's at night, and then sometimes I'll run into it.
Yeah, but no, there are cases of visually impaired people or blind people that have run into tree limbs and signs that are along the side of the road and then bounced into the road and gotten hit by traffic.
Oh my gosh!
So there's
gosh! Oh.
Yeah, it happens, and I try to not go too fast and mark out where those things are or take a picture if I can, and then find whether if it's a privately owned business and it's a sign or something, I go to them like, hey, can you guys adjust this so that this isn't a hazard? Or if it's a city thing, then I'll find the ADA coordinator and bring it to their attention. And Donna's all over it. She's already working on a handful of things that I found. So.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, how do you navigate the internet then? I mean, or with
the screen reader, yeah,
basically.
You'll see on the video. I use my phone for most everything. It's VoiceOver on iOS.
Oh my gosh,
it's built into all iOS devices. Yeah. So I know you guys have JAWS, I think, here, which I'll talk to whoever is it, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you. He's on the phone right now. I think he's on.
Yeah, I think you guys have JAWS, which is rare that most libraries in the country don't have screen readers. If they do, they have the built-in Windows version, which is, what is it? I can't remember it right now. The built-in, Windows has a built-in screen reader, but it's very buggy. It needs a lot of work, and you have to have some kind of usable vision in order for it to work. So you can't use a cursor and move around the screen and it won't read things of that, and you can't even use the arrow keys on the keyboard to act as the cursor or tab through things. It won't read it as it selects things. So you have to, or it doesn't read everything. It's
right.
Yeah, it's very you need some kind of usable vision for the built-in Windows system. I can't remember what it is, but but JAWS is an expensive program. So I was surprised when somebody told me that the Greensboro libraries have JAWS.
And JAWS then will.
JAWS is built for Windows. And it's what I don't like about JAWS, because I did a whole training at a blind school in Washington State. But what I don't like about it is it seems like it was coded and made with the thinking of a sighted person, right? So the idea of Windows is actually a visual idea. You have a window, in a window, you have a folder, and then there's files in the folder, right? And so that's all laid out in a visual sense. And so you have to kind of teach that to understand, like, there's a different file system, but there's shortcuts with it. It's a neat program. It's definitely.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, but I like the iOS. I like VoiceOver. It seems more intuitive to me.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have a moment? Well, Mike, it was good to meet you.
Yeah,
Thank you
likewise.
so much. Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
and you'll be hearing from me.
Okay, great.
So,
All right, thanks, Kurt.
You're welcome. And if give me, call me. You have my number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call me anytime if you have any questions.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, yeah, sure.
This is Chris. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Hey,
What can I do for you?
I was just trying to figure out what accessibility options you had. I think somebody told me you have JAWS on the computers.
We do. We've got a room over there that's 205 that's got that. It's a like a video conference thing.
Uh-huh.
And then there was another one that used to be over in that room there that Antoine would sometimes use, but I'm not 100% sure what he has in there.
Okay.
But
you do have a JAWS system set up?
we have.
Is it just one?
It's that video conference thing that's in there. Yeah.
Okay. And then what was the other question? What kind of audiobooks do you guys have?
So we've got a pretty substantial collection of like audiobooks on CD downstairs, but we also have quite a few through a digital service called Libby that we use.
I have
like
that.
an app. Yeah,
Overdrive, Libby, yeah.
Yeah. So that one, I think there actually might be more titles in those online resources
Yeah, probably.
than the physical ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got the mix. We used to have those little playaways, but those sort of got phased out, and now we've got the the audiobook collection on CD, which will be here for a while because we've got a system where we can clean the discs so that they don't get scratched, and
Nice.
We'll continue to play for a while.
What do you guys have any like laptops that you can let users use in the library, or?
Not at this location now. The Glen McNary branch does. They will check out laptops, iPads, and things like that. We have just a handful of laptops here, but they're primarily used for folks who come in to do like proctor exams in our study rooms. And like honestly, they're a little bit older, so they're kind of good for that. But the ones at Glen McNary are more like up to date resources.
Do you have any other resources similar to that concept of renting something out for use in the library on the end of low vision?
Just those electronic resources at Glen McNary, although I do know that's something they're trying to do more at the other branches. I think McGirt Horton has got that as well. Okay,
because there's different things like different magnifiers that are low tech, like big plastic magnifying screens. But there's also more higher tech ones where there's basically handheld screens that you can set up on a desk, or use your hand to magnify text. And then there's, what else is there? The talking book player. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
With the Library of Congress, Library for the Blind.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of those resources, because you guys are such a big branch or big library system, you guys can reach out to them and have them send you different supplies to have on hand. I think it's at no cost to the city.
Yeah, those are good. So Antoine Hawkins is our like a special needs librarian.
Okay.
So actually, these are good questions for me to direct towards him.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the magnifying thing, I had wondered about because I'd seen that at like a previous branch that I worked. So I should bring that up with him.
Yeah, you can just have it, just like you would have, a laptop or other device that somebody needs assistance with, and say, hey, we have this. Maybe let people know if especially, I don't know, if people are checking out and they notice they're getting a lot of large print books, maybe they can recommend, hey, we actually have magnifiers and magnifying things available.
Yeah, that could be checked out and taken home too.
Yeah.
Or like you said, like in library use would be a really good thing too. Yeah.
Right. But there's a whole bunch of tools like that that are available. I believe it's no charge to the city. I think it's because it's the Library of Congress thing. They shoot it down. But the talking book players, even if you had one or two of those per branch, have you seen those at all?
I have, yeah.
They're like the size of a shoebox kind of thing, and real big and tactile. And then you can have a whole selection of books that you can plug in.
Yeah. No, those are great suggestions. So Antoine is with a client right now.
Okay.
Yeah, this is something I'd like to bring up with him when he gets free. But yeah,
cool.
Like those things would be great to have. Yeah, and primarily, like I said, most of the in library use technology that can be checked out are at the newer branches. So that's like the Glen McNary for sure.
Okay.
And they introduced that a little bit at the McGirt Horton branch too.
Okay.
They renovated it.
Yeah. Cool. I do it anytime I'm in the library. I try to see what kind of accessibility they have, and then recommend anything I've known, and maybe find out whatever new things that I don't know about.
You taking the time because we would like to make it definitely as accommodating as possible.
Yeah.
These are great suggestions because these are things like that we don't have here. So.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people just want to come in and be around other people, and sit down in the library and read a book for a little bit. And a lot of libraries don't offer a way for visually impaired people to do that.
Okay.
They're like, oh, you just go home and use Libby. I'm like, yeah.
But I don't want to be in the house all day. Yeah. You're exactly
I want to be around some people and maybe have a conversation, but listen to a book. All right, cool, Chris.
Well, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. And I'll give you a card too if you or Antoine want to.
Oh yeah.
Let me know what's up. If you guys have any other cool little tips or tricks, doohickeys that I'm not aware of, or if you need me to help you guys navigate the Library of Congress system, I can help with that. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pass this on to Antoine.
All right.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a good day. And stairs on the right. Hello? Hi. Mm-hmm.